Please stand by for further details. We return you now to your regularly scheduled program.
Hello to those of you who are feeling called to this reading in particular, mystery reading number 686. Before getting into this reading, chances are that most of the people watching this video are not subscribed, so if you are a recurring viewer, you enjoy my work and would like to help support the growth of my channel, feel free to do so by sticking around, hitting that subscribe button down below, and ringing the notification bell next to it so you don't miss an upload if you feel called to. My current goal is 500 subscribers so I can have access to offering channel memberships, so if you do decide to subscribe and support my channel, thank you very much. And the last thing that I have to say is if you are interested in a little bit of a free reading or free messages, see the description box down below. Just look down at the timer on recording this video and I see the number 11. Well, it has a 0 and then 1. So there could be a cycle here. Yesterday's reading was all about releasing something, letting something go, so that way you can make room for something new, something on the inside. The ones are about trusting yourself, and then 1 + 1 is 2, plus 0 is still 2. So if you feel called to create balance on the inside somehow, one way or another, this is confirmation of that. It could also be about creating balance outside of yourself, but I just got distracted. It could be about creating balance outside of yourself, but it feels like it's mostly focused from within. I was distracted because I can see outside of this window next to my table, and there's a bottle outside, and I heard ⴑwhich means bottle in Italian, and I also heard the Italian word for window, finestra. So someone's ancestors are very, very much present. They can be specifically more Italian. It does feel like there could be a specific message to someone's Italian ancestors, but they don't have to be. Definitely don't have to be. It just feels like there's a little bit more emphasis here on the Italian ancestors for somebody. But starting with interpreting the number 686, there are 2 6s in this number, and 6 + 6 is 12. Not how I usually interpret, but I have been seeing 12 a lot. 1 + 2 is 3. 3, I'm getting a vision of the 3333 that I saw while I was talking to someone on the phone. 3 can be about expressing yourself, so if you do feel, if there is going to be an upcoming phone call for you, this is encouragement here to express yourself and to be very honest about how you feel, but also make sure it's productive and you're communicating clearly. There could be some frustration here that might create some confusion that you should be aware of, but that definitely doesn't have to resonate for everybody. The number 6 is about unconditional love. That's what I have always known on my journey, you know, in the last 4 or 5 years that I've been doing my own deep healing, deep cleansing, if you will, you know, really getting into the spiritual stuff. And this could be unconditional love for yourself, outside of yourself, towards somebody or some situation. Some form of acceptance here feels significant. It feels like yesterday's reading, mostly about you, things about yourself that you can't control, even if it's just your feelings. I think allowing yourself the room and the space to express yourself freely is what will, interestingly, help you have more control control. It's the lack of control that gives us control. Like the lack of control of our own emotions. That's why it's so important to make room for yourself when you need that space. Someone here could really, really need that space. And your spirit guides, especially your ancestors, are encouraging you to give yourself that. Give yourself more. Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense with the number 6, because the 6 of Pentacles tarot card was significant in another reading. It's been coming through since then. And you know, when it's upright, it's about giving to others. When it's reversed, it's about giving to yourself. So, you know, depending on who's watching this, you may feel that you need to be giving more to yourself. You need to be a little more selfish, or you need to give more to others, and you need to be a little more generous. So only, you know, take what resonates. The strongest, it feels like this message is more strongly about being a little more selfish, but of course, it really, really just depends who this is for. I think there's emphasis there for somebody who struggles to put themselves first. Yeah, it's either time to put yourself first or others first. It definitely feels more closely related to others. I mean yourself, my bad. Maybe it is the others for somebody, but the number 8 is about letting go. And, well, for me personally, and remembering how truly connected we all are on an energetic level. It's important to remember how much you actually do have, whether it has to do with who you are, your material possessions. It could be you're looking at things from a collective point of view and how much we have all together. Maybe there is a connection here that you have. It doesn't have to be with a person. You're connected with something or someone. You could be. And I was going to say more after that, but I forgot what I was talking about. And I'm going to trust that that happened for a reason. And it seems like your spirit guide is just acknowledging here that there is someone outside of yourself related to this message. So for somebody, it could definitely be both. There could be something that you need to resolve within and outside of yourself. But to resolve whatever's going on outside of yourself, you first need to resolve what's going on the inside. So like I was talking about before, make sure you're giving yourself the space and the time to breathe, to reflect, to process how you feel, so you can come to a conclusion that is based on your own perspective, what you believe is right, what you trust, what you feel, what you think. Make sure you're making your decisions because you believe you should be making that decision. And it's okay to seek out advice and connect with others about it, but make sure you're putting more weight into your own opinion with your own decisions than those around you. There could be a decision where you really, really need to trust yourself. But adding up the numbers, we already established that 6 plus 6 is 12. 12 plus 8 is 20. I believe the number 20 is on the Judgment card. I'm also feeling the energy of justice. That has the number 11 on it, and 1 plus 1 is 2. 2, 2, 2 came out in the reading yesterday. You might be seeing it more in general. So really, really pay attention to that number, because I feel like your spirit guides, maybe your ancestors, are trying to help you understand how to create more balance on the inside, so that way it can manifest in your physical reality and you can just have more peace inside and out. The 2 could also confirm, actually I just got a vision of the 2 of Cups that I got. It feels like this person outside of yourself is more of a romantic interest than like a friend or a family member, which would, I don't know, you could say love, it exists in many different contexts, but when we think about loving ourselves, or like a relationship of love outside of us, we tend to assume it's about romance. But yeah, for somebody there is a love interest here that could be involved in this reading. That makes sense why the energy was, it's like there's a lot of weight here being put into the focus on yourself, but there's also a little bit of weight here with some focus on somebody else, but not so much focus that you're forgetting about yourself and your worth and what you deserve. Definitely take advantage of this connection if you resonate with it to help you heal. That number 3 is coming through again strong, and to help you learn, especially about yourself. Perhaps this connection is supposed to teach you how to communicate more clearly, that phone call earlier maybe, or to teach you how to set healthier boundaries to protect yourself, and to make sure that you're only receiving relationships and opportunities that you actually deserve, that are actually going to go somewhere, that are on the same page as you. For someone in particular, it might be taking a little while for you to find a job because the universe wants you to have an opportunity that is going to last. So, I mean, no matter what you're going through, whether it's job related or not, you know, stay patient and trust the process. I just looked down at the timer and I saw 111. There's more encouragement there to trust yourself, and for me to trust myself as well. I think in general the universe wants humanity to be more grounded. Of course, not in a parental way. I don't know, I feel like the universe is kind of making a joke about that. But more in like a spiritual, mental, emotional, internal world type of way. And the number 8 is also reminding us that the work that you do on the inside to yourself, it's not only going to just affect you and this love interest if you resonate with it, or just your immediate surroundings, relationships. It also contributes to a collective mission, the collective greater good. I think it's so important for us to know how truly connected we are to help us see our own worth and value more. Even if you feel disconnected from others or just from life in general, you're still making an impact. So be mindful of what kind of impact you want to make, for better or for worse. There could also be a marriage here for someone that is significant. Maybe it's that love interest I'm talking about, but it doesn't have to be. That message comes through a lot, the for better or for worse, and I think it's so interesting. It's also a little mysterious because, I don't know, I just feel like a lot of the times when people are seeking out readings and answers and stuff like that, it's usually related to love. And it makes sense, you know, because we all just want to be loved. But I don't know. Let me think for a second, see how I want to say what I want to say. I don't know, maybe I just don't know enough yet to describe how I feel, but it does make sense to me. I am going to move on now to the Prisma Visions Tarot here. I just saw the number 13 on the timer. I think with the number 4, yeah? I'm going to use the Prisma Visions Tarot to look at your current situation and to give more insight into that. The number 13 with the 4 on the timer. 13 is about good luck, good fortune. That was significant in yesterday's reading. Oh, and actually 1 plus 3 is 4. There's 2 4s here. You know, the 4 from the 13 and the 4 next to the 13 on the timer. 4 plus 4 is 8. So it's very clear to me that there's something here foundational wise that needs to be released. Your sense of security, your sense of safety. It's time to work on that on the inside and to release whatever thoughts or feelings you're having, anxieties that are making you feel unsafe when you're not truly unsafe. You know, like fear when you're overcoming anxiety, it's not about getting rid of fear completely, because severe, I don't know, you might be dealing with some severe anxiety. I totally understand that. I used to be so anxious that I wouldn't even want to leave the house alone. But when it comes to working through anxiety, it's not about completely getting rid of it. Of course, there is some level of anxiety that shouldn't be there, but a little bit of it is normal. Butterflies in your stomach is normal, and it's all about context as well. I think overcoming anxiety is more about courage than feeling peaceful. This is a really, really good opportunity for someone to just really deeply empower themselves and build a much stronger relationship with themselves in the way that they deserve. Something at home, something at work, something in your immediate relationships needs to be addressed, because it could even be coming from within. It could just be yourself, the way you think about things or the way you look at things. There's fear coming from somewhere, and it needs to be addressed with courage, I want to say. So I have the devil in reverse with the root chakra. Here is a symbol of a planet, this first one right here. You can look that up if you'd like. I don't remember what planet that is, but we do have the zodiac sign of Capricorn in the root chakra. So interesting to be seeing the devil today, because I also associate devil energy with the number 6. Unhealthy attachments. There could be a relationship here, or a situation, or certain feelings that you need to free yourself from, that leave you feeling trapped and cornered, like I talked about in yesterday's reading. I associate the number 6 with the devil, not for like the cliche stereotypical reasons. I don't look at the devil in the biblical sense, but it has the number 15 on it down here, and then 1 + 5 is 6. So that's why I associate the devil with the number 6, other than unconditional love. And when you put those energies together, there's some sort of unhealthy attachment outside of yourself that is fueled through a negative self-image. So to free yourself, you need to change the way that you look at yourself. And you do have the power to do that. The readings a little bit recently have also been pointing out how much control you actually do have. Of course, there are many things in this world that we can't control, but there are also many things that we can control. There are many things that we can do, even if there are many things that we can't do anything about. So there does need to be a shift in perspective here, focusing more on what you do have control over rather than what you don't have control over. That energy of acceptance is coming through again. There's a person, something from the past, something in the present that you're not able to control. And it's important for your own well-being to accept that. Of course, if you resonate with the love situation, could be about this person. Control, the need to control a lot of the times comes from a place of fear. So ask yourself, what am I afraid of that makes it hard to let go of a person or a situation that doesn't serve me, that isn't healthy for me, that doesn't align with me? Why? It's always important to ask why. Look deeper. Keep questioning things. I was going to say keep questioning yourself, but don't question yourself so much that you feel like you have no reason to trust yourself or believe in yourself anymore. That's literally the opposite of why it's important to question things. The devil in reverse is a very liberating feeling. And a lot of the times, just like now, the word libertà comes through, which is Italian for liberty. There could be something significant here about New York or the Statue of Liberty, especially if you have those Italian ancestors. But in general, regardless of where your ancestors are from, they all, even ancestors that are somebody else's, or, it's complicated. There's a lot of spiritual beings out there that want you to be free. And so I feel like they are trying to help you do that. But they can only help you as much as you're willing to help yourself. I think about it a lot. As someone who used to be Christian as a child, I think a lot about how, the Christians, they usually say, well, some of them, depending on who you're talking to, they say that God doesn't help those who don't help themselves. And as someone who believes that all religions have truth and deception, I do believe that. Like, from the higher power that I believe in, I don't refer to the higher power I believe in as God. I don't consider myself religious or Christian anymore. But I do believe that the universe does not, it only helps us, supports us if we're willing to help ourselves, because just like the universe, or just like us, the universe doesn't want to be taken advantage of. It doesn't want to be taken for granted. Maybe for its own self-preservation, but also for you. But actually, when you say self-preservation, the universe is like everything in existence, so of course it includes you. Self-preservation feels significant here. It's making me think of the 9 of Wands in this deck here, which is about doing what you need to do to keep moving forward, to keep investing. I think someone here needs to tap into their strength through learning how to be more patient. And I really want you to know that when it comes to all of those messages about patience, it's for a lot of different people. Because I think a lot of different people, are more impatient. But it's just because how we're raised. And the universe wants us to change the way that we look at things. Why? I don't know. Those are kind of more deeper questions that you should probably answer, but I believe the universe is connecting with us right now, really making itself known to protect itself, because it knows how powerful humans can be. But I also feel like humans give the universe a voice, like actual language, words, and stuff like that. Of course, it always speaks in different ways, but there's a unique way that humans give the universe a voice. And I think it doesn't want that to be taken away. I just feel, I think it's because it helps enable growth. Of course, the universe wants to grow. It always does. It always is. But for the universe to keep growing, we as humans, I feel like, also have to be willing to keep growing. I mean, you could say the universe will keep moving forward without us, and that's probably true. But there's just, for me, in my opinion, a special connection between humans and religion or spirituality, the universe. For me, it feels like this higher power I believe in is sentient. It's like everywhere but nowhere at once. It's a lot. But I am going to start wrapping up this reading by drawing out a card from the Nightmare Before Christmas tarot. Of course, I heard the word *ýᴏᴜ*, which means nightmare in Italian. I'm going to use this deck to look at what guidance your spirit guides and probably your ancestors have for you. That the message about nightmare that's been coming through a little bit lately, I think it's probably because I just learned what what that meant through a song from an Italian band. But there could be a situation here that feels like a nightmare. Now I'm like getting a vision of the moon here that I saw, I think earlier sometime. There's a lot of darkness, a lot of uncertainty, unknowns in a situation that could be contributing to your anxiety. And it's a good opportunity to teach yourself how to be okay with not knowing, with the unknown. It could also be a blessing in disguise, where even though it looks like a loss, there's still something to gain. Oh, I have the Ace of Wands. Inspired, it says inspired creative energy, starting new project, potentially big opportunities. So of course, this ace here is an opportunity card. It feels like you are being presented with an opportunity. I feel like I'm getting a lot of different messages coming through with this card. There could be something significant here about a wildfire for someone, because I'm seeing like all of these trees, this forest, and then there's the fire that lights it all. I do keep up with like news on a national level, the weather, and I know that there is a wildfire or wildfires coming up around Texas, Oklahoma area. So if you need to be prepared for that, there's confirmation. But this ace definitely is saying that there is an opportunity here for you, an opportunity that you desire, that makes you feel inspired and creative and energized. Of course, this strongly feels like an opportunity on the inside, an opportunity to strengthen your passion, your commitment. I keep burping because I ate about a half hour before I started recording. I did burp in yesterday's reading too. You didn't hear it, but burping is about letting something go, which confirms that there is something on the inside that is repressing your passion, your inspiration. And it's important that you look at that, address that, face it head on. Or, in whatever way works for you. Doesn't matter how you do it, really. Just make sure you reach that end goal of release, healing, closure, peace. And I just felt something here about empathy. It did come through in yesterday's reading. So make sure you're having a little more empathy for yourself, just as you deserve a little more patience, a little more understanding, a little more of unconditional love, like I was talking about in the beginning. And for others of you, of a smaller percentage, this could be an opportunity that is being presented to you outside of you. Whether it is a love situation, a job, whatever, it's something that you want, that you desire. And I feel like it's going to help you feel free. It's going to free you of something that makes you feel trapped, tied down, restricted, stuck. There is an opportunity coming for somebody. And it could be a result of the healing that you're doing and everything, as like a reward from the universe. But also, stay open-minded if you've already been doing that. I feel a lot of excitement for somebody related to whatever this opportunity could be. But but regardless of who's watching this, to be free on the outside, free of the toxic relationships, of the toxic job, etc., you have to be free of that toxic relationship that you could have with yourself. No matter where you're at, who you are, what you're doing, where you're going, where you've been, the universe wants you to focus on freeing yourself and you being there for yourself before, you know, that whole God doesn't help others, God doesn't help people who don't help themselves. The universe doesn't help people who don't help themselves. I don't know. I feel like the universe is always present to kind of nudge us in certain directions or to encourage us, but it will only stick around for so long. It's not going to keep speaking where it's not going to be heard. So if you want the universe to keep speaking, keep listening. That's such an interesting way to put it too. There could be something significant here about earrings for someone, maybe from your ancestors, or earrings from Italy. That's very specific. I really don't know if that will resonate for anybody, but if it does, that'd be cool. So yeah, focus on freeing yourself from yourself, and over time you will attract opportunities that will reflect the freedom that you have already created within yourself.